Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, evening, whenever you be watching. But welcome back to the Crypto Sherpa Show, where I cover the latest cryptocurrency news articles to keep you informed on what's going on. And yeah, lots of stuff been going on today, from it's theoretically possible to send Bitcoin to Mars. So we're covering that article. Looks like our CPI data increase is pushing us to more signs that we will be getting rate cuts. There's some changes going on around the world. Japan's fighting for more like anti-money laundering, but no, Japan's decreasing their taxes like from 50% to 20% or something like that. The Swiss is trying to fight for new financial crime rules against anti-money laundering and that. But again, yesterday was a very it was a very memorable day that took place. Like, it's going to be remembered. And we just here at the club wanted to say that God, family, and country in that order is what Charlie Cook said. That's what he stood for. He stood for God, family, and basically this country. He spoke the truth, and like somebody out there just did not like that. So our thoughts and prayers go out to the entire Charlie Cook family and our nation. He taught us to be salt and light to a fallen world. And this is the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club family. So our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family out there right now. And again, there's a lot of chaos going on in this world. So not just like even yesterday right now, today we're remembering 24 years of September 11th when the towers went down. It's crazy that some kids nowadays I try to hear, it's like, what are you hearing about this? Like me, I lived it. I was in 6th grade. I was going to my morning piano class when we got an announcement on the speakers, and they said, okay, everyone needs to stop what they're doing, tune in right now. And we just sat in silence. We're like going, what's going on? What's happening? So I can't believe it's been 24 years since then. And yeah, everybody knows where they were at that time. But yeah, so again, thoughts and prayers are all those survivors still from the 9/11 attacks back then, and also to, again, Charlie Cook's family. But let's switch the mood up from the downer news. Again, yeah, no, that's a bummer. Like, I'm still reflecting on that right now and everything. So, but let's go through the news articles. What's happening in the crypto space right now? Well, first up, we have, looks like in the spot Bitcoin ETF news, they bought up $741 million worth of Bitcoin yesterday. So bullish news coming for it. Also, the U.S. inflation climbs 2.9%, keeping the Feds on track for September cuts. Now, it's bullish for Bitcoin and what it means for the markets. Well, let's find out. I had this article. It's going like global stocks, dollar, gold were muted yesterday ahead of the Feds at CPI. So they were waiting. They put it on pause saying, what's going to happen? So let's hear, what did the markets do? So futures for the S&P 500 barely moved, rising just 0.1%, while contracts linked to the Dow Jones posted the same gain. And NASDAQ 100 futures crept up 0.2%. And then Wall Street had already logged new record highs the previous day, but nobody was willing to make the next move without knowing if prices are going to cool off. Now, according to CNBC analysis polled by Dow Jones, expect the CPI to rise another 0.3% in August, with the annual figure landing at 2.9%. Now, the core reading, which strips out food and energy, is also expected to rise 0.3% monthly and hit a 3.1% year over year. Now, everyone watching this data like a hawk, especially with Federal Reserve policy meetings just around the corner. It's the last big inflation clue before they decide whether they're going to cut rates, hold steady, or pull a curveball. And right now, it's really seeming like they're going to be cutting the rates because they kind of have to. Now, Asia rallies on tech deals and softening inflation bets. So the Asian market showed more life than Wall Street. In Japan, the Nikkei 2025 pushed to a fresh record of 44,396.95 before easing slightly to a close 44,372.5, which is up 1.22%. Traders there followed the lead of Wall Street's overnight gains and optimism around lower inflation, but big moves included SoftBank Group, which soared over 10% after riding 2 straight days of gains. Now, the pop in SoftBank came right after a Wall Street Journal report revealed that OpenAI signed a $300 billion deal, 5-year cloud contract with Oracle. That massive deal triggered a huge reaction from Oracle stock, which jumped 35.95% by Wednesday's close in the U.S. Now, the cloud computing giant now expects $18 billion in cloud infrastructure sales in 2026. Looking ahead, the company projected annual cloud sales at $32 billion, then $73 billion, and $114 billion, as well as even $144 billion following the 4 fiscal years. Elsewhere in Asia, South Korea's Kospi climbed up 0.9% to record highs of 3,344.2, while the smaller Kosdaq rose 0.21% to 834. Now, Australia's ASX and S&P 200 slipped by 0.29%, ending in 88,005, and Hong Kong's Seng Index dropped 0.21%, but its tech counterpart went up at least 0.23. Now, over in mainland China, the CSI 300 surged 2.31% and closed at 4,548. India gained slower than Nifty 50, rose 0.13, Sandex, and then in Europe was 0.4% and 1.1%. So yeah, a lot of just data information for like what these CPI data actually did, and like didn't do much in Wall Street, but definitely just rose like the rest of the world, just a very little bit, not so much. But gold also pulled back while bond yields tick up. Gold prices dipped even though they stayed close to the record levels, and spot prices dropped by 0.5% per ounce as of 10:16 GMT time. Now on Tuesday, prices had peaked up to at least $3,673 in the futures for December. Delivery also dropped 0.6, now sitting at $3,659. Now traders blame profit taking and stronger US dollar, which gained 0.2%, making it expensive for non-dollar buyers to scoop up gold. Now other metals didn't escape the pullback. Silver lost 0.3% in trading at $41.01 per ounce. Platinum declined by 0.6% at $13.80, while palladium moved in the other direction, gaining 0.7% to hit $1,182 an ounce. Now, bond yields ticked higher as the market braced for the CPI. The 10-year Treasury yield went up by 2 basis points to 4.057%. The 30-year yield climbed 3 basis points to 4.7%, and the 2-year moved 2 basis points higher than 3.55%. Just a reminder that 1 basis point equals 0.01%, and yields away move opposite to the bond prices. Now, meanwhile, global equities have been on a hot streak. The MSCI All Country World Index, which includes more than 25,000 stocks from developed and emerging markets, hit new highs for the 4th straight session, showing that global settlement holding up. This rally has powered the hopes by cooling off inflation and solid earnings. And that's just a lot of just technical data going on there, just numbers moving around up there. And why did I even pull this article? It had to be because of this little thumbnail post. I was like, inflation's up 2.9%. So if CPI is up 2.9, what it means for Bitcoin market. So that's why I just felt like I had to like, well, here's the numbers for what did happen to it. But thank you, Stephen. Welcome to the show. We want to know the news. I know that's just the facts and numbers out there. So let's go over some fun news though, on how like actual Bitcoin is theoretically possible to be sent interstellarly. So if we ever make domain on Mars, if we can, what's that word? Where they reignite the planet, its ozone. I can't even think of that word out there. But if we ever end up actually on Mars and can colonize it and actually be livable here, like we want to be sure we can at least send our money interstellar from planet to planet. But right now it is actually theoretically possible to do so. So let's go through this article to learn about it. So sending Bitcoin to Mars is now theoretically possible, says researchers. So the Bitcoin Lightning transfers could be sent to and from Mars in as fast as 3 minutes by leveraging an optical link from NASA or Starlink and a new interplanetary timestamping system. So, be able to transfer this information in, 3 minutes? Not bad. That just shows how fast Lightning Network's moving. So here, let's go through this article. There is apparently a way to get Bitcoin from Earth to Mars in as little as 3 minutes using already available technology. We just need someone or something to receive it. Late last month, tech entrepreneur Jose L.E. Puente and his colleague Carlos Puente published a white paper unveiling a proof of transit timestamping, a concept he told Cointelegraph that is the missing piece needed to make Bitcoin interplanetary. Now, the concept suggests that when a Bitcoin user wants to send a payment to Mars in the future, the transaction could hop from the user through different stations, such as ground antennas, satellites, or even a relay around the moon. Now, at each stop, the transaction is stamped before continuing until it reaches its destination. Now, speaking to Cointelegraph, Puente said that the POTT serves as the receipt layer on the Bitcoin and Lightning Network while leveraging optical links built by the National Aeronautics and Space Administration and Elon Musk's Starlink or another satellite provider. Now, the technology is essentially ready. The moment there's a stable Earth to Mars link, the POTT can ride on top of that, making Bitcoin the first currency to operate cleanly across planets, he said. And this is what he said specifically. By simulating Mars-level delays, we could run a convincing end-to-end demo right now. So, and here's a post from NASA Mars. After a year of scientific scrutiny, a rock sample collected by the Perseverance rover has been confirmed to contain a potential biosignature. The sample is the best candidate so far to provide evidence of ancient microbial life on Mars. So that's pretty cool that they found that. But when up and running, Puente said that Bitcoin Lightning transfers could reach Mars in as little as just 3 minutes, or as long as 22 minutes in the worst case scenario. Now, the average Lightning transaction would take between 12 and 15 minutes, while Bitcoin's base layer transfers would usually be 10-minute blocks. Now, plus the signal delay as well on there. But addressing the 2-week blackout period on Mars that occurs every 26 or so months, Puente said a solution could deliberately route around the sun with a relay satellite to avoid the blackout. Now, the POTT is like an ordinary Bitcoin timestamping, except that it can extend to outer space and beyond, Puente explained. He said, imagine it's 2025 and you're sending money from Earth to your friend on Mars to help pay for their rent because the planets are so far apart. The message has to hop through different stations. So at each stop, the station stamps a message with the time it arrived and the time it left, like a passport getting stamped at every border. Now, by the time the message gets to Mars, you can look at all the timestamps and see exactly what path it took and when it moved. Now, Bitcoin has already made it to outer space. The concept builds on Blockstream's work in December 2018, when they connected Bitcoin to 5 satellites to make outer space Bitcoin transactions possible. Then in August 2020, SpaceChain completed what it said was the first Bitcoin transaction from the International Space Station, showcasing that Bitcoin can be received away from Earth. Now, here is a post from Jan 3, 8 years of Bitcoin in orbit. Blockstream's satellites has beamed Bitcoin blocks transactions and data from space 24/7 for free to the entire planet, from Earth to orbit to everywhere. Thank you. And what is this little video they got? I haven't even watched it. It's about a minute long. Let's see it. Let's watch this together. Blockstream. Is that a real ship? I don't know. I don't think it's a real ship because, I don't know, Bitcoin logo on there. Could be AI. But I think they're just trying to get the idea across. Yeah, it's totally AI generated. Not a real video, guys. It's AI, but it's the thought about it that counts. What's the final word? I feel like they're going to have like some little saying. Bitcoin is now possible. Let's see. So there's our satellite, which would be the Blockstream satellite, and it goes off into space to do its job. And is there anything else to it? I'm waiting for a cliffhanger here. Like, what's it going to show? What's it going to show? Just a satellite traveling through space. You can do transactions. Come on, where is it going? Where is this going to lead to? And 2. Okay, the soft motion and Blockstream. It's just a Blockstream out. I knew that's all it was going to be. So yeah, that's an AI video generated, but just the idea that we can take Bitcoin into orbit, and that's how just through our satellites. But of course, for Bitcoin transactions to occur on Mars, a human or an AI would need to be there, and that hasn't happened yet. So only landers, orbiters, and rovers from NASA and other space agencies have explored Mars thus far. So there would need to be someone there willing to accept Bitcoin too. Now, Jeff Bezos founded Blue Origin, and he started accepting crypto, so including Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and stablecoins. Now, last month, they made it past the Kármán line, which is about 100 kilometers above the Earth. Now, Musk has also agreed that a standard money is needed. So Musk's SpaceX is looking to reach Mars by the end of 2026 with a long-term ambition to build a self-sustaining city there. Now, like Puente, Musk agrees that a standard money is needed to transact between Earth and Mars, and he previously expressed concern over Bitcoin's 10-minute block times. But that's where the Lightning networks come into play, Puente said. Now, the POTT plus Lightning provided the practicality that Musk asked for. Now, local speed with global settlements that work across planets. Now, after initially dismissing Bitcoin as a solution last January, he eventually agreed that interplanetary payments could be more feasible through Lightning Network. So, yeah. Now, here's a kind of like a diagram showing how the proof of transit timestamping would facilitate. So we have the originator, the Earth node LN, which goes to the relay A node A, which is probably a satellite, bundles it to relay B, goes to C, and then finally the recipient over in Mars. And so with each one of these times it's moving over, it's being timestamped before it moves over to the next one. And what is this down here? The POTT chain of custody receipt, showcasing that, the use case of Lightning and that, and the verification. But if we were serious about a multi-planet civilization, we need an open, neutral monetary base that doesn't depend on a single company, government, or ground station, Puente said, making his case for Bitcoin as the most appropriate interplanetary currency. That's why we focus on Bitcoin as the shared standard and designed of POTT as a practical way to move value across vast distances while preserving accountability and individual agencies. Now, the POTT is built for all planets. Puente noted that the POTT was built to be a planet agnostic across a star's habitable zone, meaning that the travel receipts it generates could be reached from transactions sent to the moon or any other planet. He said that the research just focused on Earth and Mars as it is the cleanest near-time custody case right now. So yeah, so it is theoretically possible to use it to utilize Lightning Network and satellites to make interstellar crypto transactions possible. And again, the Lightning Network just doesn't hold Bitcoin. You can put USD, like a stable coin on there, some other coins, Litecoin. So again, so Lightning Network is not just for Bitcoin. So this can be interstellar crypto transaction. But this is cool. This is just science evolving, and I love it. And yeah, like they said, we need a actual clean and like freedom, not like nothing controlled by government currency to be able to do all this. And that's what that's why Bitcoin is here. It's a currency that's outside of the system. So outside of all the chaos going around the world, from shootings, politics, governments, wars, Bitcoin doesn't care. It's just code. It runs. Nobody's in control of it. So that's why we are in the space. Like, even the banks are a part of that system. So why do we want our money a part of all this chaos and craziness going on? It's like, no, I'm going to keep my money outside of all of that, where that doesn't even affect this at all. So yeah, so sending Bitcoin to Mars is theoretically possible. Sweet. Now, what else is going on in the news? Let's see. We have the Swiss lawmakers push back over new rules to fight financial crime. So Swiss legislators oppose the government's anti-money laundering law in an attempt to maintain the country's competitiveness. Now, the lawmakers said that the initiative aims to make the country more competitive in the global cross-border wealth management, where countries like Singapore and the UAE are gaining ground. Now, Boston Consulting Group forecasted that Switzerland could lose its crown as the world's largest wealth management hub as early as this year. Now, the country intensified its focus on competitiveness after the Trump administration imposed a 39% tariff on them. Now, the country's government said that lawmakers began finding ways to strengthen the nation's economy after the heightened U.S. trading policy. Now, the Swiss anti-money laundering regulation seeks transparency on countries' shell companies. Now, the Swiss government said at the time that legislators would focus more on regulatory relief for Swiss companies and push back on new rules that incur high business costs. The government said in August that it wants to decisively press ahead with its economic policy agenda and focus on reducing the regulatory burden on companies. Lawmakers have based the current retaliation on the government's anti-money laundering drive on competitive grounds, similar to what they used in a debate over proposed new capital rules for Switzerland's biggest bank, UBS. Now, the AML legislation seeks to implement requirements by the Financial Action Task Force calling for nations to come clean on shell companies. Meanwhile, the Swiss People's Party, Barbara Steinmann, argued that Switzerland tends to implement rules whenever there is foreign pressure on financial transparency. She believes the initiative drives up bureaucracy and erodes competitiveness, even as other financial centers hold back. Now, this is about war between financial centers and economic interests. The Americans and the other European countries would like to take over our business, said Barbara Steinmann, member of the National Council in Switzerland. Now, the country established the OECD's minimum 15% tax rate for large companies last year and the final Basel III banking standards this year. Now, the lawmakers are also against the government's tighter legislation that prevents rogue lawyers, saying that the laws are unnecessary and burdensome. Now, Swiss politician Simon Giannani argued that the drive for transparency must not lead to overregulation. The Swiss People's Party and the Centrist Party, the center, also pushed back against similar anti-money laundering bills 5 years ago. In June, the Swiss government also excluded nonprofit groups, including charities, from a planned transparency register to reveal beneficiary owners. Now, lawmakers also excluded trust arrangements from the register schemes, and the Swiss financial minister, Karen Keller-Sutter, said that trust arrangements are prone to crime and can be used to conceal a client's identity. Now, Swiss parliament reduces due diligence obligations for advisors, and the parliament also reduces due diligence and obligations for advisors, exempting some lawyers from implementing such safeguards. Now, the Swiss financial minister stated that the amendments have diluted the range of those lawyers covered by the obligation. Now, the Boston Consulting Group revealed that all of the other major financial centers grew more rapidly in 2024, and in percentage terms compared to Switzerland. According to the report, Singapore led with nearly 12% growth in the cross-border wealth. Now, the company also forecasts that Hong Kong will become the world's leading booking center for cross-border wealth in 2025. And British nonprofit firm Tax Justice Networks ranks Switzerland second after the US on a list that the world's top financial secrecy enablers. Now, the head of the Swiss Financial Crime Unit, Anton Bromenium, said that the country must prevent itself from becoming attractive to criminals due to the competitive considerations. He also welcomed stricter rules for higher risk activities in the financial advisory sector, despite other countries not having any obligations in that sector at all. So they're looking just to fight crime or fight financial crime, AML. So the rest of the world is like trying to make changes right now. They're looking. They know like stuff going on. They know like a crime or scams out there is a big issue with crypto, which kind of deters it. But again, crypto scams out there aren't just the main thing with crypto. It's kind of the bad narrative. It's really going like 1% of the entire network is with bad actors and bad transactions. But the governments and countries out there are trying to fight for rules just to help regulation. And we need, again, I always say this, we need some regulations and rules just for the countries to abide by. So that's what's happening in Swiss. Now let's talk about Japan. What's happening over here now? From 55% to 20%, how Japan plans to fix its crypto tax rules. So from harsh 55% taxes to a flat 20%, Japan's crypto overhaul promises relief for investors in a bid to boost its Web3 innovation. So that's a nice like 50% cut right there. So not too bad. So Japan is poised for a significant change in its cryptocurrency tax policy. Currently, investors must deal with a stringent system that taxes crypto transactions at steep rates, up to 55%. Now, this policy has discouraged participation, driven many traders out of Japan, and left crypto disadvantaged compared to stock taxes, which are at a flat rate of just 20%. And again, like when there's like not such good rules in there, and people are just going to go to the next best place with better rules. And that's what you can do with crypto. It's not just confined to your location at all. Like if you're in the United States and you didn't like what's going on, you just could have moved to a more crypto-friendly country. And that's what we saw in the 4 years in the last administration. It was just, we didn't have any ways of people was like, I'm not doing business here. Let's go here. And we see the same thing happen in Japan because the tax was so high. It just drove people and traders out of Japan to just a more friendly country. So having this real change could actually bring back some more traders back into the country. So, however, the ruling of the Liberal Democratic Party in Japan has committed to reforms that would introduce a more favorable flat tax rate for crypto. This could potentially transform Japan's position as a global hub for digital assets. And this article discusses how the ruling party in Japan has introduced crypto tax reforms and how these developments might impact its homegrown crypto market. Now, proposed crypto tax reforms and regulatory changes in Japan. The proposed tax regime is likely to come in place in the financial year of 2026. Now, subject to parliamentary approval, this change will introduce a significant departure from the existing tax system. And the reforms will also introduce equities like inside trading regulations for cryptocurrencies, preventing unfair profits from private information such as token listings or protocol changes, and thereby strengthening market fairness. Now, this tax reform is not a standalone measure, but a part of a wider economic strategy to align cryptocurrencies with traditional investments, making them competitive and well regulated. Now, the 2025 tax review may also incorporate investor-friendly measures, such as allowing 3-year loss carry-forward provisions, bringing crypto in line with equities and providing crucial flexibility in the volatile market. Now, how does the crypto tax reform may herald a new era for traders in Japan? Well, Japan is shifting from one of the toughest tax regimes in the crypto to a fairer, more investor-friendly system. The government sees this as a way to strengthen its role as a global hub for digital assets, and the entire world is trying to fight to be a crypto hub, and some are fighting to become the main one. So everyone's saying that can Southeast Asia be the crypto hub? Is the UAE a crypto hub? Is America wanting to be the crypto hub? So everyone's fighting to get to take on that role right now. So the financial minister Kutsanobu Koto has openly endorsed crypto's place in diversified portfolios. He noted its volatility, but stressed that building the right environment could turn it into a legitimate investment option. He underlined the need for stability and transparency to build investor confidence. Now, the ruling of the Liberal Democratic Party has made these reforms part of its policy platform, and the plan includes moving crypto to a flat rate tax regime and extending equity-style oversight, signaling the digital assets that now sit within Japan's broader economic strategy. Now, the Financial Service Agency is also preparing its details. Proposals include a flat 20% tax on crypto gains from the fiscal 2026 year, a 3-year loss carry-forward rule, and a reclassification of crypto under the Financial Instrument and Exchange Act. Now, that change would allow enforcements of inside trading rules and investor protections similar to those in traditional markets. Now, Japan, from strict regulation to Web3 embrace. In the aftermath of the high-profile hacks, particularly the collapse of Mt. Gox in 2014 and the infamous CoinCheck hack in 2018, Japan adopted some of the world's strictest cryptocurrency regulations. Now, the FSA enforced rigorous standards for crypto exchanges, custody services, anti-money laundering, and know your customer practices, as well as cybersecurity, prioritizing investor protection even at the cost of innovation. So under the former Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, Japan began shifting gears as part of its broader new capitalism and Web3 strategy that the government signaled an embrace of blockchain and decentralized finance. And it was to retain domestic tech talent and stay competitive globally. Now, public consultations and legislative planning will follow to recalibrate Japan's crypto policy, balancing security with innovation and Web3 friendly growth. Now, is it possible for a market impact of the Japanese crypto reform? Well, if Japan enacts its proposed tax reform, both corporate and individual adoption of crypto will likely accelerate. Lower taxes and clearer rules could boost liquidity, it can attract institutional capital, and encourage development in digital asset infrastructure. Now, the reforms also tie into a larger goal, positioning Japan as a global digital financial hub to compete with crypto-friendly jurisdictions like Singapore and the UAE. Now, a regulated investor-friendly environment would help draw global capitalism to stimulate domestic markets and strengthen Japan's role in Web3's economy. Now, optimism around these reforms is already visible. Metaplanet, Japan's largest corporate Bitcoin holder, was added to the FTSE Japan Index, which is a sign of growing mainstream acceptance. Now, on August 25th, 2025, the company bought another 103 Bitcoin, raising its total holdings to 18,991 Bitcoin. And that was, when was that again? August 3rd. Was that their last purchase? No, August 25th, about a week ago? I guess so. I think they might have held off for a week right now, waiting to see where prices go, but they might actually want to buy now. But challenges and futures outlook. Several challenges confront Japan's proposed cryptocurrency tax reform, including the inherent volatility of digital assets, which prompts concerns about market stability and investor protection. Now, regulatory enforcement presents a further hurdle, ensuring compliance with new insider trading rules, and it requires robust oversight. Moreover, parliamentary approval for the 20% tax rate may encounter delay due to political debates or competing priorities. Now, Japan's planned 2026 reform signals a major shift toward investor-friendly policy and stronger global positioning of the country. Now, these changes are expected to pave the way for a rapid growth of the Japanese crypto industry, while also fostering the emergence of yen-backed stablecoins like the JPYC. Now, with crypto reforms, Japan is laying the groundwork to become a leading regulated cryptocurrency hub in Asia, appealing both to retail and institutional investors with enhanced clarity, tax priority, and infrastructure. So that's what Japan's up to right now. Kind of long, but it's good to get this information. So if you ever want to move to Japan, you may be getting a 20% flat tax rate on your crypto transactions out there. And if you're doing the centralized pathway, so if you're using their exchanges or whatnot, yeah, that's where the tax comes from. But if you're playing in the DeFi space, again, not financial advice, I'm just saying, how do they know that that's your crypto? When you set up a self-custody wallet, you're just given a seed phrase. That's it. You never provide a name, email, phone number, social license. You don't. So I'm just saying, like, when you play in the DeFi space, they want you to report on that stuff, but do you have to? Because they don't know that you actually been playing around on there. So just saying that. But again, this is great for playing on the centralized side, because if you're ever going to try to cash out crypto or whatnot, you do kind of need a centralized entity. So there's kind of tips and tricks to still keep yourself private. Use multiple wallets out there, and that's okay to do. But that is our crypto tax that's happening in Japan, and basically all of what's going around the world-wise. So again, Japan's got their tax rate cut. The Swiss is trying to change some anti-money laundering laws. And Bitcoin becomes Interstellar. So so that's our what's going on around the news. Let's take a quick little break from the news really fast. So I'll play a quick ad, and then we'll be back with some more altcoin news and what's happening in that space. And hello, Joe. Welcome to the show. I saw you there as I was moving this. So here we go. Which ad am I playing? I'm trying to see which has correct information on it, because this video can't play that one, can't play that one, can't play that one. I think it's this one. So here we go. We will be right back after these messages.
Want to connect with the world? Ready to be heard by millions? Have a talent you are ready to share, or want to elevate your business to the next level? Step into the spotlight. Welcome to our all-new podcast studio at Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club, Sarasota. Introducing a cutting-edge creative space built for everyone, from first-timers to seasoned pros. Outfitted with state-of-the-art cameras, broadcast-quality microphones, professional mixers, and premium acoustic treatment, this is where your voice isn't just heard, it's felt. Whether you're recording a podcast, live streaming, or creating high-impact video content, our studio delivers next-level production value. Lights on, mic hot, let's go.
Sorry, guys. Doing a quick little vape and drinking my Diet Coke. Two bad things to drink, but I can't complain. Ben's always promoting, you got to run on coffee, Red Bull, and cigarettes. So Diet Coke and vaping, I think that's just as bad. But welcome back to the show, guys. And yes, if you ever want to rent a podcast room in here at our Sarasota Club, we have a professional settings just for you to use. So give us a call if you want to book an appointment to utilize that room. Let's continue on the news. What's going on? Yesterday, I kind of pulled up an article of what it costs for an iPhone, for the first generation, how much Bitcoin it would take to what it takes now. Definitely big increase. But it looks like Apple's new iPhone 17 makes signing transactions safer for frequent crypto users. So I wonder how it's going to play out. Let's see what makes it safer. So here we go. Apple's new memory integrated enforcement system in the iPhone 17 aims to block zero-day exploits targeting crypto wallets and passkey signing operations. So not bad. So more protection on the passkey. So if you utilize your phone with a passkey to sign into your exchanges or wallets out there, looks like you're getting some extra protection. Now, Apple's latest iPhone 17 introduces a new layer of defense for crypto users with hardware-level memory protection. Now, that aims to prevent common attack vectors used to hijack signing operations. Now, at the core of this upgrade is Memory Integrity Enforcement, otherwise known as the MIE. Now, a feature enabled by the default that uses enhanced memory tagging extensions, style memory tagging to detect and block dangerous memory access types like out of bounds and use after free errors. Now, according to cybersecurity firm Hacken, the new MIE system meaningfully reduces the risk of attackers using memory corruption, 0 days to take control of signing code. It's a real plus for crypto users, especially high net worth or frequent signers, Hacken told Cointelegraph. Now, these vulnerabilities reported to account for nearly 70% of software flaws and are often exploited in zero-day attacks targeting wallets and passkey approvals. Here we got a tweet from someone, Hugh Nguyen, saying, RIP the jailbreak era. I remember jailbreaking my old iPhone back in the day. But besides that, Apple claims that they have a better branch prediction and hope they don't do anything too hype that is easy to crash their pipeline. So you can see more of the new stuff at a blog and security from Apple. But Apple boosts its iPhone 17 defenses. Hacken explained that the MIE actively detects and blocks dangerous memory access patterns like out of bounds and use after free errors, preventing many common exploit chains. Now it's always on across both kernel and user level processes, making spyware development even more difficult and expensive to try to hack. Now it raises the bar for attackers and makes targeted spyware / exploited development much harder and more expensive, said Hacken. Now that directly benefits wallet apps and passkey flows that rely on in-process operations, the blockchain security firm added. However, the MIE is not a silver bullet. It does not protect against phishing, social engineering, malicious web content, or compromised apps. And furthermore, it does not replace secure hardware wallets or eliminate the need for user vigilance. So again, you still got to be on high alert for the usual scams out there. You're not clicking on email links that you don't know who the person is. You're not signing a transaction because your device is already corrupted or infected. So you still got to pay attention. Like, this is a nice little extra security measure to it. But you still got to be due diligent in the space that you don't fall for phishing scams, romance scams, or even the wrench attacks going on that we're hearing a lot about. So you still got to do your due diligence there. But again, this helps out and just adds a little bit more security. And yeah, when you get a little bit more security, you feel a little bit more safer. Now, Apple crypto users face security threats. Apple's crypto users have been facing serious security threats last month, and it revealed that a zero-click vulnerability allows attackers to compromise iPhones, iPads, and Macs without user interaction. Apple released a security patch across multiple OS versions to fix the flaw. Earlier this year, Kaspersky warned that malicious software development, KITs, used in apps on Google's Play Store and Apple's App Store are scanning users' photo galleries for crypto wallet recovery. And again, guys, you should never take a photocopy of your recovery phrase, the seed phrase, because if anybody gains access to that, your crypto's bye-bye. They have full access to it. So again, never keep a digital copy, because that's what this malicious code did. It scanned people's phones to look for like those specific seed phrase words in their photo. So again, just write it down on a piece of paper and you're solid. Now, last year, Trust Wallet also warned Apple users to disable iMessages due to credible intel of high-risk zero-day exploits circulating on the dark web that could let hackers take control of iPhones without even user interaction. So, I didn't even hear about that warning to disable iMessages. Crazy. So again, I missed out on that part about that, wondering what it was doing, but I guess stuff probably has been changed with it. But guys, we gotta always stay due diligent and doing our research, learning about what's going on, what scammers are doing, just to stay safe on there. Now this is bullish news for like safety for these new phones when they come out, which I do need a new one. My phone is old, cracked, and not even holding memory anymore. But no, so that's like kind of a little new thing happening with Apple iPhones and just again, safer crypto signing transactions. So very, very nice. Now, what else is happening in the altcoin space? Let's talk about Chainlink. Chainlink brings more Trump admin agencies on chain with an eye on aiding elections. So yeah, Chainlink co-founder Sergey Nazarov said that this partnership will build trust with the U.S. government and could one day lead to bigger initiatives, including on-chain voting in federal elections. Now, fresh off a partnership with the U.S. Department of Commerce, Chainlink co-founder Sergey Nazarov said that the decentralized Oracle network is collaborating with other Trump administration agencies to bring even more federal government functions on-chain. Now, the entrepreneur said a timeline for rolling out these partnerships have not yet solidified, but that he is hopeful that things can move quickly. Now, all these agencies and departments have their own processes, which is unpredictable for approvals, Nazarov said in a video interview with Decrypt this week. I can tell you we're definitely moving ahead into a set of next steps, at least on the data side, and on some different cross-chain initiative that we're also starting to discuss more of. So you can watch that on the, which channel was it? The Decrypt has a YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube Decrypt, you can hear what Nazarov said even more in detail. Now, Nazarov added that the chain link is also in discussion with several state governments regarding similar initiatives, but would not give further details about those plans. Chainlink is an Oracle platform that allows smart contracts, which undergrid most crypto activity, to securely pull verified data from off-chain sources and integrate it across numerous blockchains. The company already services currently with at least 14 different blockchain ecosystems, so that's pretty good. Now, Nazarov conceded that some Chainlink's initial foray into government blockchain usage may not necessarily appear overly bold. The Department of Commerce, for instance, is using Chainlink to feed already publicly available data on GDP inflation and economic demand into DeFi markets and the broader crypto ecosystem. But these initiatives are just the start of a long-term campaign to encourage the US government to take more ambitious leaps into crypto's infrastructure, he said. He said that this is a low-risk, efficient way to begin the process of getting them involved in the blockchain ecosystem, said Nazarov. But personally, from my interaction with people in DC, I can already see that many steps beyond this is happening right now. Now, one such undertaking, which Nazarov noted, is more of a long-term than near-term goal. Now, it is convincing that the U.S. government to use companies like Chainlink to bring elections on-chain, which would be awesome because it'll give us more transparency and you can't change the data. Now, the firm's service can help guarantee the accuracy and integrity of both public data, as the Commerce Department partnership intends to show of internal data, a service Nazarov said that the federal government has already expressed extreme interest in. But Oracle networks can also be a remedy trust issues and situations, he added, where there are different groups arguing with each other about if something happened or didn't happen. Hello, presidential elections. Now, Nazarov also said that he's already had conversations with numerous groups in Washington about using blockchain systems to verify identity in American elections. He also claimed that the technology required for such an initiative is fully ready to go, and that the question of implementing such a system solely comes down to political will. It's not just technology issue, he said, it's a political issue. So again, like this would be good to have if you can have on-chain that's immutable, cannot be changed. You load up the facts, like going, especially when it comes to election time, and it's like going, and you want to be certain that they're a true American with the rights to vote. You put it on-chain, nothing can change that. So when someone comes in trying to place a vote and they're not an actual active U.S. citizen out there, the system will say, nope, you're not a true American citizen, you can't vote. So it'll help make elections more trustworthy now, knowing that the rightful American citizens are able to just vote. Now, while the power to determine logistics about voting in the U.S. elections is mainly held by the state governments, President Trump has in recent months asserted that he has the authority to make such determinations himself by ending the practice of mail-in votings, for instance. Now, his administration has also consistently advocated for embracing crypto in all manner of applications as a means of providing Trump's bona fide as America First crypto president. Now, identity and privacy is a fight political issue in the United States. Nazarov said that a factor that could slow the adoption of an automated system for verifying identification of U.S. citizens. Now, the Republican Party has in recent years, for example, vehemently opposed the creation of American Central Bank Digital Currency, or CBDC, citing its potential to allow the federal government to track civilian payments. But the Trump administration has also embraced tactics to address policy priorities that have touched on the sensitive topic of identity and identity verification. Now, aggressive deportation raids across the country by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and have stirred up widespread concern in recent months that even lawful American residents should carry identifications on them at all times, for fear of being wrongfully detained. On Monday, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that ICE has the authority to detain civilians based on controversial factors, including race, occupation, speaking accent, and fluency in Spanish. So, well, good thing I don't speak fluent Spanish, but I may look like it, so I guess I should keep my ID. But no, I'm kidding. I don't need to. But no, so Chainlink's bringing some, they have a long-term goal right now. It's not going to be fast at all, but there are hopes in the long term that we can eventually even aid in the election. So I'm hoping they do that too, because again, we just want some transparency and truth on like who is actually voting in these elections. Is it the Is it the rightful American citizens out there doing it? Or is it people who cross the border illegally? Doesn't matter which side, whether they came from Mexico, South America, China, Asia, European Union. If they didn't come rightfully, they shouldn't have the rights to vote unless they went through the due process to do that, to gain their actual citizenship. So this can definitely help on with that. Because again, the blockchain is immutable. Once data is put on there, it is extremely hard to make that change. So it would be very costly to do so. So it's not likely going to ever happen. So that's cool that Chainlink is working on bringing more admin agencies on board. Now, what other news do we have for you today? Let's see. Looks like we have some airdrop news for you. So I usually don't claim airdrops at all. Sometimes they pop in, but you want to be cautious about them. You want to know what you're getting and if you're doing it right. But one of these airdrops is the Kong airdrop. So how do you do that? Well, if you've been buying NFTs on OpenSea since the start of 2023, the Kong airdrop is your reward for active participation. Now, here's your chance to grab some free Kong tokens for being an active trader on the platform. Now, the token generation event will offer 2% of the total Kong supply as part of the Kong airdrop. Now, who's eligible for this airdrop? Well, the airdrop is a means to incentivize active users of OpenSea. However, assuming you bought NFTs on OpenSea in 2023, you may also receive a reward in one of two levels, depending on the purchased volume. So I don't know if this is missing a dollar sign or not, but Tier 1, you can claim 1,650 Kong tokens if you spent over $10,000, I'm assuming. And Tier 2, you can claim 11,250 Kong tokens if you have spent over $100,000. And it's like, man, who spent $100,000 on NFTs? I know I didn't. Now, the best part of that is it's easy to claim if you meet the requirements. Keep in mind, being eligible does not mean that you will get tokens. The claim is a first come, first serve, meaning you will have to act fast. And this news happened yesterday, too. So the Mixie's new listing right now on the Kong token, trading started yesterday, as well as the Kong airdrop for the campaign is heating up. So join the share of 1,071,520 Kong and 34,995 USDT. You can join the airdrop by going to mixie.com token airdrop. And yeah, now how to check your eligibility in the Kong airdrop. Before anything else, you should confirm whether your wallet qualifies. So go to the official eligibility tracker. There's a link in this article. Connect your wallet, see if you fall into Tier 1 or Tier 2, and then that's it. Now, when and where to claim. The claim window is open right now, and you can only claim your tokens through the official CyberKong's website. Since the first come, first serve, you need to be quick with your action. Early arrival may be the difference between getting free Kong or not getting any at all. Now, as of those late last night, OpenSea buyers, they might finally pay off. The Kong airdrop check is live right now. Check what grind is worth it. 10,000 volume is 1,650. 100,000 volume is that. Now, rewarding the OpenSea traders with Kong airdrop is an excellent opportunity to motivate them to be more active within the platform. It is free and easy way to receive tokens. You only need to move fast because, again, this is first come, first serve. So, again, it's been going on for 1 day now. So if you're just hearing this right now and you qualify for it, go give it a try. Why not? That's like free tokens and money on the table. It's like you can just accept it and go, I don't really even want these Kong tokens. I'm going to swap for Bitcoin. Boom. There you go. So if you're eligible, go give it a try. Now, other airdrop news, I think this is happening today. This is with Binance, and it's the Ping Pong token airdrop, an exclusive token airdrop for eligible Binance users. So, got Binance Alpha points? Here's how to use them for the Ping Pong airdrop. If you've been building your Binance Alpha points, which is a major utility moment that has been arriving, Binance Alpha is thrilled to be the first platform to launch Ping Pong on September 11th and rewarding our community with exclusive airdrop. So this started today after the trading begins. You use your Binance Alpha points to Ping Pong, where the Alpha page is on Binance Alpha, and more details are on the way for that. So you just got to go to the Binance Alpha page. I'm not even logged into this account. I'm sure you'll be earning some like tokens on there, not tokens, Alpha points, and now you can spend that. So just another quick little airdrop. I know I'm looking at my clock. I'm going, I'm running out of time. This show is going quite long right now. But those are the two airdrops that I noticed that are happening. I'm sure there's hundreds more airdrops taking place right now. But you got Ping Pong with Binance or Kong, which is a part of OpenSea. And now, do you really need to cover what's happening with Ton Network? Who actually uses the Ton Network? I know I don't right now. I think I tried it a couple of times for like potential advertisement, but it looks like they're expanding their foundation, said Martin Master, on the growth of the U.S. expansion and also building every day. So Martin Master went from FX banking to scaling DeFi. Now he's driving Ton's global push to make crypto part of everyday life. Now, Martin Masser, who has been at the Ton Foundation for just over 7 months, but his journey into crypto dates back more than a decade. He recalls his early interest in Bitcoin around 2012 when the process of buying digital assets was still cumbersome. Working in traditional banking at Credit Suisse, he found himself drawn to the energy of crypto's early days. From FX banking to blockchain, that interest eventually led him to Ston.fi, a decentralized exchange built on Ton, where he served as Chief Business Development Officer under his tenure. Now, the platform scaled from $8 million to $350 million in total value locked. Now, I like to call myself the Ton concierge, Master explains. People come to me and I'm like, actually, you need to be speaking to this person. You need to be doing this. Have you thought about this? It's just connecting people, opening the door, and helping them in. The ethos carried over naturally when he joined Ton Foundation's leadership team, where his focus now lies on expanding Ton's presence globally. That kind of feels like how I'm here at the Crypto Club, the programs connoisseur. So we have so many different programs here. If you want to take a look at them, go to bitcoinben.io or text us for that number. But it's like, oh, you want to be a part of the confidential bulk crypto purchase? Here, let me lead you to Jody. She can help you with that. Oh, you want to be a part of our home to hodl program? Let's take you over to Holly. So being like a little concierge is not so bad. But supporting developers and building use cases. Macer explains that Ton is not only attracting users, but also working hard to support developers and creating sustainable business. There's a big ecosystem support scheme, and people can apply for that. It's not just register your name and get support, it's all about building. Now, much of the current activity revolves around Telegram mini apps, according to Macer, and once developers understand the tools available, the use cases emerges quickly, from integrating wallets to experimenting with games, DeFi mini apps, and digital collectibles. It's amazing. Once you start telling them that they have these tools, people can come up with so many of the use cases themselves. You got gaming, payments, and social and the social edge. So, asked about Ton's strongest areas, Macer pointed out to a unique synergy between Ton and Telegram. Obviously, the gaming is very, very unique in the sense that you can play games on Telegram. A lot of people don't know that you can. Just load up a game in seconds. It's just like messaging a person. He believes gaming and social features are natural fits, but stress that Ton's scope is broader than just any single vertical, and payments and wallets are also central. Now, Ton powers both custodial and non-custodial wallets inside Telegram, allowing seamless peer-to-peer transfers. Now, there is an ease of use, he argues. It is what will drive adoption beyond just crypto narratives crowd. Now, expanding into the US market. Much of Macer's current mandate is to raise Ton's profile in the United States and Europe, markets where awareness of the blockchain still lags behind Telegram's ubiquity. Everyone in crypto in America is in Telegram, so they know the app, he said. But a couple of years ago, no one even knew about what Ton was even doing. They thought it was a mispronouncing Tron, laughing Macer. I'm still not even sure how I can pronounce it. Is it Tron? Ton just took away the R. or is it ton? Like there's a ton of crypto over here, guys. But regulatory clarity is also playing a huge role. We feel more comfortable going there and actively pursuing it, Macer notes, citing recent legislation as a step toward clearer rules of engagement. Now, the immediate challenge, he said, is raising awareness among users and builders that Telegram is more than just messaging. It is a distributed channel for games, payments, and other blockchains-enabled services. He sees the cultural energy of the US a particular promising. I love the American market, especially there is so much that comes out of America. A lot of the narratives as well. I love going to America. There's energy, there's buzz, you know. Now, a vision for everyday use. Looking ahead, Macer described Ton's long-term vision as seamless integration into daily life. What would be great is if people using Ton, probably without realizing they're using Ton, he said. I never know what my internet router settings are, but I use it every day. I'd love to be the same with Ton, and you're doing 5 things a day on the network without even realizing there's crypto behind it. Now, from gaming to digital collectibles, the goal is to make blockchain-powered services invisible, yet indispensable. You just need to make people's lives easier, more fun, more enjoyable, and that's how you get people to use it. Now, for the Ton Foundation, the path forward lies in bridging the familiarity with Telegram with the scalability of blockchain, positioning itself as the network where everyday users and global brands can meet, as Macer put it. And the ultimate ambition is simple. I just want it in their everyday life. That's it. So that's what's been going on with the Ton network. And Martin Macer, the What's his position there again? I already forgot. Let's see, can we find it? Macer Williams, been at Ton Foundation. He's just been with the team for at least 7 months now, but that's what he's been doing and focusing and noticing. So, yeah, so I feel like Ton's got some growth to go as a potential investment. I don't know. That's up to you guys. I'd never tell you what to buy, how much to buy on it. I always tell you, do your research. If you believe this coin has a future and promising gains with it to come, definitely go into it. But again, it's got to be your decision, not mine, not Bitcoin Ben's, not the crypto club. Like in the end, it's always going to be your decision if you want to be in a part of a project or not. We can just help aid in some research and facts about like what's going on in there. But that is basically it for the news. So I got one more article. The truth behind crypto scams, hacks, and blockchain security. So amid headlines of hacks and scams, the Clear Crypto podcast uncovers real data behind blockchain activity and the technologies building confidence in the industry. So what really is behind these scams and hacks? Well, crypto often makes mainstream headlines for the wrong reasons, but beneath the surface lies a story of innovation, resilience, and community working to build a safer financial future. Now, this week's episode of the Clear Crypto podcast, brought to you by Starkware and Cointelegraph, takes a hard look at one of the most pressing and misunderstood issues in digital assets, and that is crime in crypto. Now, crypto crime reality check. While the mainstream headlines often associate blockchain with hacks, scams, and fraud, the reality is more complex. Guest Ari Redboard, global head of policy at TRM Labs and former U.S. federal prosecutor, joined host Nathan to cut through the perception gap. The reality is that we've seen real scam activity in the crypto ecosystem over the last 2 years, about 50 billion in scams and fraud, he said. But illicit activity still makes up just 1% of all activity within the ecosystem. So we're talking about 99% lawful activity out there, but the mainstream is just pointing out to the 1%. Now for Redford, the takeaway is clear. Crypto is not inherently flawed, but like any transformative technology, it attracts opportunist actors. Now, bad actors are always early adopters of transformative technology in cryptocurrency and blockchain, and they are just that, he said. The promise of cryptocurrency is cross-border value transfer at the speed of the internet. But you know who else likes to move funds faster and in large amounts? Bad actors do. Still, the same transparency that enables illicit use also gives investigators powerful tools that help emphasize. Because every transaction is traceable, it's trackable, it's immutable, and public on a ledger. And that means we can do compliance, we can do investigations better than we ever could before. So again, we have the tools to track these bad actors now, not like before. Now let's talk about privacy, security, and innovation. The discussion also explores how privacy and security can coexist through innovation. Redboard pointed out to zero-knowledge proofs around privacy pools, as well as around digital identity, as examples of technologies. He said that ZK proofs allow us to thread the needle between ensuring lawful users of this technology and have the privacy they need, but also stopping bad actors like North Korea who threaten the ecosystem. Despite these challenges, Redboard stressed optimism. What keeps me so positive is that the people I get to interact with every day, this is an incredible community of compliance professionals, law enforcement, and builders. To hear the complete conversation on the Clear Crypto podcast, listen to the full episode on Cointelegraph's podcast page, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, and don't forget to check out Cointelegraph's full lineup of other shows out there. So I think the big thing with this article is, like, if you're hearing that bad actors use all this crypto, like, is the only ones who use this crypto space, like Jamie Dimon once said back in the day, it's like crypto's only used for bad actors. It's just 1%. That's it. The other 99% are lawfully active and just people following the rules out there. So it's completely okay to use. If you're just focusing on that 1%, you probably shouldn't even be in the space. But again, I don't want to see anyone left behind. You know, if you don't believe it or you just want to still think it's bad, I hope you just don't get left behind and not have any crypto or Bitcoin in your balance sheet. So yeah, so again, crypto is not bad at all, but bad actors will take advantage of it if they can. Meaning they're taking advantage of the opportunity because, again, it's fast moving. It's transparent, but it can be also private as well. So they like the stuff that can move fast and steal money quick. So they will take advantage of the opportunity if they do get to. But that is it for the news, guys. Bitcoin is up to 114.5 right now. Woo! And Ethereum's up to 4,400. XRP still holding that number 3 position above Tether at 299. Our fear and greed index is 43, and the total market cap for all cryptocurrencies is $3.95 trillion. Crazy, and I can't wait to see that number keep growing year over year. But everybody, thank you for being here. And also, if you're in the Sarasota location, we have a crypto meetup tonight at 6 o'clock. So come meet Holly Chance, our mortgage broker. She also handles our home to hodl program. And so it's going to be just a great time to network, hang out with the community, have some food. I think we're going to have some pizza here. I'm calling that now, so I'll probably have to go order that soon. We're going to have some food, refreshments, soda, coffee, water, and then a nice little AMA conversation at the end of it. So hopefully we'll see you tonight at 6 o'clock here at the Crypto Club in Sarasota. So until tomorrow, for more crypto news, take care, guys. Love ya. Peace.
In a world where your data is constantly under attack, one company stands for your digital freedom. Introducing Calyx Solutions, your gateway to ultimate online privacy and secure cryptocurrency trading. Meet the Liberty Laptop. With its modified OS and advanced tracking prevention, it's your shield against surveillance. Access restricted areas, use recommended security software, and browse with confidence. Your digital footprint? Virtually non-existent. For the crypto pros, we present the Crypto Laptop. Pre-configured on premium hardware for secure trading. Optimized for your favorite wallets and exchanges, it's the fortress your digital assets deserve. Both laptops come with expert individual training and support. You're never alone in your journey to digital empowerment. At Calyx Solutions, we put you in control. No more worrying about data breaches or compromised transactions. Ready to join the revolution? Visit calyxsolutions.io and choose your perfect laptop today. Plus, become an affiliate and earn while sharing the power of digital freedom. Calyx Solutions. Unlock your digital freedom. Give us a call or text at 702-845-8276 or visit us directly at calyxsolutions.io.